Sunday morning in London, a 30-year-old Kenyan named Sawe ran 26.2 miles in 1 hour and 59 minutes and 30 seconds. Picture the finish line, Tower Bridge in the background, the clock on the gantry ticking past 1 minute, 59:00, with a runner still on the road. Officials look at each other because for the first time in history of competitive marathon running, the clock is going to stop on the right side of 2 hours in an open race with the world watching. He crosses at 1 hour, 59 minutes and 30 seconds, the first official record eligible sub 2 hour marathon in human history. 11 seconds behind him, a 28-year-old Ethiopian crosses the same line in 1 hour, 59 minutes and 41 seconds, second place, also under 2 hours. And it was his first marathon. Two men broke the barrier that stood for 72 years on the same day in the same race, and one of them had never run that distance before. If you know the 4-minute mile story, you already feel where this is going to go. But before we get there, I want to tell you about a man named Mr. DeMarret. Hi, my name's Camper Bull, and I'm the founder of Venture Gain. For 20 years, I've sat across tables from founders trying to figure out why their businesses won't move past a certain number. That number changes, 1 million, 3 million, 5 million. The shape of the wall changes, but the wall itself, almost every single time, turns out to be older than the founder and built by someone who didn't understand the founder. That's what this episode is all about. In 1954, the medical establishment had a position on the human body. The position was no human being could run a mile in under 4 minutes. Doctors warned that the heart might give out. Coaches treated the 4 minutes as a psychological wall. Runners, they kept getting close. 4 minutes and 1 second, 4 minutes and 1.4 seconds, but the barrier held. Then on May 6, 1954, a 25-year-old British medical student named Roger Bannister, who trained on his lunch breaks at Oxford, ran a mile in 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds. And here's the part nobody tells you correctly. 46 days later, an Australian runner named John Landy ran 3 minutes, 57.9 seconds. He didn't just break Bannister's record, he crushed it. Within a single calendar year, 3 more men broke 4 minutes in the same race. For decades, nobody could do it. And then, suddenly, in the same season, 3 more men did it. The runners weren't just faster on their legs, they were faster in their minds. The wall was never 4 minutes. The wall was the belief in 4 minutes. Researchers eventually named this, they called it the Bannister Effect. When somebody publicly proves an impossibility wrong, a cascade follows. Other people do it, then more people, and then it stops being impossible at all. The 2-hour marathon was the same shape wall. For decades, sports scientists debated on whether the human body could physiologically run 26.2 miles at that pace. Nike ran a controlled attempt in 2017 and called it Breaking 2. 3 elite runners on a Formula One track in Monza, Italy, optimized for everything, and they were 25 seconds short of the wall. 2 years later, in October 2019, they tried again in Vienna, and the Enos Challenge was 1 hour and 59. But that challenge required pacemakers and hydration, delivered on bicycles with no open competition. And he crossed the line in 1 hour, 59 minutes and 40 seconds, the first human to ever run 26.2 miles in under 2 hours. Because the conditions were controlled, World Athletics did not ratify it as a record. So in the rule book, the wall still stood. But critically, something had cracked. Then in London, last month, in an open course, in an open race, with no controlled conditions, 2 men crossed in under 2 hours, and one of them was on his very first marathon. The wall came down for real. 72 years between Bannister and Sawe, The same shape story. The body could always do it. The belief was the wall. Now let me tell you about Mr. DeMarret. In 5th grade, I was tested and found to be severely dyslexic. The evaluator was a man named Mr. DeMarret. He sat my mother down and explained the results. He told her I was a bright child. Not just academically capable, he explained with clinical certainty, that I would not make it through high school. I would not make it through college. Running a business of my own was just completely out of the question. My mother looked at him directly, and she said, "You don't understand my son." That was the whole sentence. There was no argument with the test, no challenge to the methodology, no request for a second opinion, just a quiet line from a mother who knew something the evaluator didn't. His belief was a number on a test dressed up as a fixed human limit. Hers was an absolute optimism that no test could ever measure. The receipts, decades later, sit on the table. We've launched 16 books, 6 of which became New York Times bestsellers. 3 or 4 companies built past $20 million, 35 years of professional speaking, a fractional executive practice with 23 people across 7 different time zones, and a vibrant, full life. I'm still dyslexic. Dyslexia never left. The belief about what dyslexia meant for my life was the wall. And the wall, it was wrong. It took a mother's opinion and 30 years of work to find that out. The belief held by Mr. DeMarret was the only barrier that ever existed. So here's what these 3 stories share. Bannister's Mile, Sawe's Marathon, a 5th grade test in a school office. In every one of them, the wall the world was certain about turned out just to be belief, not fact. The body could already do the thing the mind hadn't caught up with. And the moment somebody publicly broke the belief, the cascade started. 46 days for the second 4-mile minute. A few years between Vienna and 2 men under 2 hours in London. A lifetime, in my case, between Mr. DeMarret's evaluation and the body of work that disproved it. If you're a founder between $500,000 and $2 million in revenue, here's the question I want to plant. What's the wall in front of your business right now that you've been treating as fact? The $1 million ceiling? The $3 million ceiling? The we can't grow without me in every sale ceiling? The team can't run without me in the room ceiling? The founders like us don't get past stage without venture capital ceiling? I sit across the table from founders carrying this every week. And almost every time, the ceiling turns out to have been built by somebody else. A former boss who told you that your kind of business looks like this. A bad investor who told you what your category can do in scale. A market downturn that taught you to stop reaching. A consultant who priced your services for you and locked you into a margin you don't have to keep. A teacher in 5th grade who told your mother with clinical certainty that you were a bright child but not academically capable. Usually, the belief is older than you. It came from somebody who didn't understand your specific business and is currently doing the job of the wall. That's why the playbook is simple but not easy. And here are 3 actions, each one designed to surface a ceiling, name the belief that built it, and run a small public experiment that breaks it. So I'd start here. If you only do one thing this week, do this one. Take this single sheet of paper or a note on your phone and write down the answer to this question. Ready? What's the number, the team move, or the offer change that I've quietly decided is impossible for a business like mine? Now be specific, not we should grow. Specific. We can't get past 1.4 million. We can't sell anything over 5,000. We can't take a week off without revenue dropping. We can't build a team that operates without me in the room. The specificity is the entire game. A wall you can't name is a wall you can't break. Once you've named it, write it down, where the belief came from. Honestly. Was it your last boss? Did that belief come from an investor, a mentor, whose business was different from yours? A bad quarter that became a permanent rule? A consultant? A test that failed in 5th grade? You'd be surprised how often belief has fingerprints on it that aren't yours. Last year, I sat with a real estate education client who was certain her business couldn't grow past a specific revenue number. We traced that belief back through her career, and it came from a partner she had 8 years earlier, who told her plainly that this kind of education business taps out at X number. He wasn't wrong. He didn't understand her business. He didn't understand her market, and he didn't even know what he would be offering in 2026. But she'd been running her business under this belief for 8 years. The first move is to name the wall and the person who built it. That alone changes how it feels. A wall you inherit from somebody else who didn't understand your business is not a wall, it's a hand-me-down. Bannister wasn't the fastest runner in his generation. He trained on his lunch breaks. The reason his running mattered wasn't biological, it was psychological. He showed everybody else that the wall would come down if you ran it. So action number 2, find your who. In your specific category, at roughly your stage, what has already been done? What's the thing you've decided is impossible? Not somebody from a different industry with different economics, not a Silicon Valley founder with 50 million in revenue capital, somebody close enough to your situation, their existence makes your wall negotiable. If you can't find one, then widen the search by exactly one ring. Different geography, same model. Different vertical, same offer structure. Same vertical, different decade. The point is not to copy them. The point is to disprove the belief that nobody at your stage has done this before. One client of mine, an internationally recognized author and speaker, the wall was, you can't sell a $25,000 program to my list. They're too price sensitive. We found 3 people in adjacent verticals who had done just that. We didn't borrow their offer, we borrowed their proof. The wall came down inside of 1 quarter because this individual stopped acting like they were alone with the problem. Once you find your Bannister, write their name down next to your wall on the same sheet of paper. You're never the first one to face this wall. You find the person who already proved it's negotiable, and the wall stops running your decisions. The Bannister Effect doesn't happen because someone believed harder. It happens because somebody ran. Sawe didn't break 2 hours by visualizing it. He broke it by lining up at Tower Bridge on Sunday morning. Action 3 is the smallest possible public experiment that tests your wall. Not a vision board experiment, not a mindset reframing on a journaling app, a real concrete commitment. We can't sell anything over $5,000. Your experiment is one offer this month at $7,500. One specific qualified buyer. You either close it or you won't. Either way, the belief gets touched by reality, which is more than it has been touched in years. If your wall is, we can't take a week off without revenue dropping, your experiment is one Friday off with one very small handoff system. And you measure what's actually happening on Monday. Not what you feared, what actually happened. If your wall is, we can't grow past 1.4 million, your experiment is find one process or the role that's currently bottlenecked through you and remove yourself from it for 30 days. Most ceilings collapse in a week or 2 with this experiment because you find out you are carrying a hypothesis, not a fact. Ceilings are tested by experiments, not by belief. Run the smallest move that you can produce real data, and you'll find out fast which walls are real and which ones you inherited. 3 things to take from this. 1, most of the walls in your business are belief dressed up as facts. The $1 million wall, the $3 million wall, the offer ceiling, the team ceiling, almost always have somebody else's fingerprints on them. The pattern that comes across in history, the 4-minute mile, the 2-hour marathon, the 5th grade evaluation that was wrong by 35 years. The body, team, the business, the kid can do the thing. The belief is the wall. And 3, the fix is 3 moves. Name the wall, where the belief came from. Find your Bannister, the person who's already proven it's negotiable, and run the smallest possible experiments you can that puts belief on the line for 30 days. If you want the belief audit scorecard, the diagnostic that surfaces the 5 or 6 inherited beliefs currently functioning as a ceiling in your business, with scoring and the next move for each one, it's in the description and pinned to the comments below. It takes about 10 minutes, and it brings honesty. What I'd love you to do is pick up a piece of paper before you close this video and write 1 sentence. The sentence is your 2-hour marathon. The thing you've quietly decided your business can't do. Just name it. Don't solve it yet. Naming it is the first move. Then put in the comments below, whose voice does the wall sound like when you read it back? A former boss, an investor, a teacher, a version of yourself from a quarter that you'd rather forget? Let's continue this conversation. Let's all learn from each other, because somewhere in the comments below is someone else's Bannister. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.